Hello everybody, this is Michelle Fox and welcome back to The Simple Quilter. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make two simple and easy DIY must-haves for your quilting travel bags. Now these projects are fun and easy to do and won't take you very long, but before we get started I want to show you the quilt behind me. This is a quilt, I guess this is one of the first quilts I made. I made this quite some time ago, must have been 1993, maybe 1994. But anyway, I'll show you a close-up of this. And the reason I picked this quilt to show you is because I've done a lot of videos on half square triangles and how to use those to make quilts, and also how to use the half square triangle papers. So I'll step aside and show you this quilt. Now this is a pretty special quilt. This quilt was called the Jewel Box, and again it was made using the half square triangle paper, and also I pieced the top and my mother hand quilted the entire quilt. So it's a pretty special quilt. So let's get started with the program for today. I'm going to be showing you these little kits. One is what I call an ouch pouch or a first aid kit, and the second one is just a sewing machine cleaning kit for your travel bag. So let me show you the materials that you'll need. Okay, so for this project you're first going to need some gum containers. Now chewing gum came in these containers and they had kind of a shrink wrap on them that was just easy to just cut off, and I think extra gum came in these, but you can still purchase these, and you may have some around your house. They're just great little containers, so you'll need some of those. You will need some cardstock or some scrapbook paper, whichever you have available, and I just really used what was available in my house. You'll need some packaging tape, and I just used the Scotch brand, and then I just used double-sided tape put out by Scotch. And this tape, you could use glue if that's what you have. I also used a rotary cutter. Now the rotary cutter that I use for projects like this is a rotary cutter I only cut paper with. I don't cut any type of fabric with it. I used to, but then I converted it over just to using paper. You don't really want to cut paper and fabric with the same rotary cutter. So cutting paper dulls the blade, and I don't have to have it very sharp to cut the paper, so that's what I use this for. You will need also a ruler, and then I just printed out on some paper. You can use copy paper or you can use cardstock, sewing machine cleaning kit, ouch pouch, first aid kit. You can put whatever you want. I also printed out some little vintage sewing machine images from my clip art on my computer, and I'm going to use those. Now if you'll notice, this has just the first aid sign on it, and this one again just has the sewing machine. This one has first aid on it, and then this one has sewing machine sewing kit. So really you can just get as creative as you want. You can even write on the container with a permanent marker, sewing machine cleaning kit if you want, or first aid. You don't have to get fancy. I just like to kind of fancy them up just a little bit. Now, the first thing I did was just print the whatever I wanted to say on the container. I just printed it out, and then I just simply cut it out using my rotary cutter and ruler. Let me just show you how I did that. Now, the width of these isn't super important. You don't want it any greater than the width of this. So I did 3 to 3.5 inches depending on what I was putting on there. Now the height is important. And the height is important because you'll be using this tape, and this tape is 1.88 inches. So I did 1 3/4 inch width for whatever saying I was going to be using. I just cut this out just like this, staying under 1 3/4 of an inch. I guess the sayings were a little bit, I went a little bit under 1 3/4 of an inch. And then the background that I taped it to, so see, I just cut that out. And then whatever background color I taped it to, this, the background was 1 3/4. This was a little bit smaller. So after I had that cut out, all I did I just put a piece of double-sided sticky tape there. Put it right there. You want to be sure to adhere it to the front of the container. And then I just took this tape and taped it right onto there. Now, how fun, easy, and cute is that? Now, I do want to show you what I put in these. We'll do the first aid pouches first. Now, if you want to make this cross sign, I just cut out 1/2 inch strips of paper. Cut them down to 1.5 inches. Let's see, just under 1.5 inches, and then I just taped them together to make that, and then I just glued them onto, or taped them onto a little red square, just like that. Okay, so let's take a look at what's in these. Now, in this first one, I have a little piece of chapstick, a lens cleaner, some alcohol pads, a couple of Band-Aids, some flossers, and an emery board. Now, you can put whatever you want in these. They're just fun little things to do, but it is a good idea to take a little first aid kit and just toss it into your bag. Now, this one, we made these for a quilt retreat, and all the attendees got one of these, and we just had friends, and then the 2 of us that were putting on the retreat, we saved these, and we put in there. We put wet ones, a couple of Band-Aids, and you could get creative and use the sew Band-Aids that have the sewing themes on them. Those are always fun. An emery board, lens wipes, alcohol prep pads, and Tylenol and Advil. And those were just fun little things we put in their bags for the quilt retreat. It's just a little gift. Now, these don't absolutely have to be just for your quilt bag, but you could toss them in your glove compartment in your vehicle. I wish I'd had one the other day when I went fishing with my son and my granddaughter. She scraped her hand and we needed something. Okay, so now this one is a sewing machine cleaning kit. Now, I did a video on how to clean your sewing machine. So if you don't do that regularly, I'll put a link up above so you can watch that video. Cleaning your machine and keeping it in good working order are so important for sewing. Okay, so there's the little case again. And in this case, I put just some Q-tips. I put a microfiber cloth to wipe off the surface of my machine and the display window. I put in an extra pack of sewing machine needles. These are just the quilting, or these are Microtex, the Chrome 8020. I put in a little thing of my Bernina sewing machine oil, and then I wanted to show you how to make these little pipe cleaners. These work great for cleaning out your machine. I took an inch, this is a 3-inch piece of pipe cleaner. I just twisted the end up. This right here is a coffee stirring stick, and I just cut that in half, and then you just take these little things and just insert them right into your coffee stick stir. And these make fantastic little tools to clean out the inside of your machine. They get in the little nooks and crannies, and this little fuzz on these pipe cleaners just pulls that lint right out of there. So that goes in there too. Okay, now for a little bonus, I wanted to show you 2 other gum containers that I use in my quilt room. These stay in my quilt room. I use this one. This is an Orbit gum container. My family and I chew a lot of gum. And in this one, I just use my old discarded pens. I use this for my sharp disposal. So this has my old discarded pens, my old rotary blades. And then when this gets full, I'll tape it shut with gray tape, and then I can safely dispose of that in the trash can. I like to do that because I don't want anybody, including the sanitation workers, to get cut on any of those things in there. And then this one, I put my tape measure in. It just keeps it controlled, and I just always keep one of my tape measures in there. Now, I didn't get fancy and label this one, and with this one I just used a Sharpie marker, but I do like these because I can just open this little one and just drop my pins in there, or my broken sewing machine needles. If you've enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, share with a friend, and as always, leave a comment. I love to get the comments and I respond to each one, so if you want to ask a question or just leave a general comment, leave that down below. And until next time, have fun quilting.